I also want to be on record to add my voice on the mid-year budget performance review laid on the floor by your committee, and particularly want to thank the chairperson and able chairperson for tabling this. Unlocking economic potential through enhanced aligned, increased productivity, enhanced private sector investment, as well as improved public service delivery. Very clearly, Madam Speaker, the discussion is basically to ask ourselves as to whether the budget midway has performed very well. It is very clear, if you read this report, that the 2024 budget recorded a very dismal performance.
On the right, I've seen very few people, more people are indicating on the left. Can we also have indications on the right? So, Honorable Member for Katombora, you an opportunity, just indicate. May the Honorable Member continue.
Madam Speaker, in the quest by our colleagues to rein in on inflation, they have had to make adjustments on the monetary policy. The end result, Madam Speaker, is that this has increased the lending rates by the banks. If you ask most of your members who have borrowed today, we have to now pay, under our noses. There are a lot of Zambians today, Madam Speaker, whose properties are being grabbed by banks every day because of the decisions to increase the monetary policy, which is subsequently increasing the lending rates by the banks. So it is important that when we are making that decision, we also monitor the effects of the decisions we are making. We are punishing our people because remember, the UPND's campaign was on ensuring that lending rates in the banks are reduced. Today, the lending rates keeps on rising. We are almost now at 28, if not 29% today. Now, for me, Madam Speaker, I am of the view that if the budget has to perform, the sectors must speak to each other. We have had a report from the Ministry of Green Economy which had indicated that we are going to experience the El Nino effect. The El Nino effect meant that we were going to experience drought. Drought meant that our agriculture sector was going to be affected. It meant that our friends should have made decisions to realign the agriculture sector. Starting with the distribution of farming inputs. You draw away farming inputs from areas that were set to experience serious drought. We should have taken farming inputs to areas that will experience favorable rain patterns. Our friends did not do that. The end result is the dismal performance of the agriculture sector. Our friends, Madam Speaker, went out to gift foreign multinational companies with tax incentives. You remember we had a heated debate over the decision by the Ministry of Finance to make the mineral royalty deductible on the promise that the mining sector was going to mining sector. They did not speak to the other sector, which is the report that was given by the Minister of Green Economy. Today, the mining sector, Madam Speaker, keeps on giving excuses because of the energy crisis. There's no productivity going on in the mining sector because of the challenges in the energy sector. These are things that is why I'm making an insistence, Madam Speaker, that for us to perform very well in the budget, we must allow different sectors. When you are making a decision to gift the conglomerates, you are aware that at some point there's going to be a disaster. Madam Speaker, how many times have we lamented over this matter and the minister has played a deaf ear over the decision the Minister of Finance made? Number one, a company that owed $1 billion, a mine that owed $1 billion in taxes. The minister makes a decision to forgo the $1 billion and only allows them to pay $23 million. Now, what that does, Madam Speaker, is because the currency performance today is on the basis of the demand for the dollar against the dwindling availability of the dollar. How do you expect that your kwacha is going to perform favorably if you keep gifting people just like that? You allow $1 billion to just go there and collect only $23 billion. How do you expect your currency to perform very well when you allow money? How do you expect your currency to perform very well when you allow to be siphoned? The case on dollars was left to go to Panama, and how do you expect our currency to perform? So, Madam Speaker, all these things, even when we lament that drought has hit and we are here, it is the reckless decisions we are making that is making us to be vulnerable as we are here. What's making us to be vulnerable as we are here? When we come here, we are not enemies. We are only foretelling what may happen. How many times did we talk about the need not to sell our maize? Today, we expect the budget to perform very well. Madam Speaker, these are things that we must perform very well. Madam Speaker, these are things that we must be frank with.